charged with conspiracy to murder. I was conspiracy to peace. So what it boils down to is I just did 18 years on the nut ward for public entertainment.
Is this the face of sanity?
I'm completed, man. Boom, I stamped it, I'm gone.
Do you think you'll ever get out?
That depends on if you want to survive.
Should Manson get out? Find out when Bill Stout takes you into solitary.
I'm going to get out sooner or later.
This week at 5 and 11 on the Channel 2.
What's wrong with murder? What's so bad about murder?
Charles Manson. Almost 18 years have passed since those nights of horror and rage, when the knives slashed again and again, when murder after murder terrified a city, and the sight of fanatical young followers in courtroom corridors and on street corners, drug-crazed, sexually enslaved, and morally depraved, caused a whole society to fear for its children.
I got put in that. I might say, yeah, them's my kids, but I'm one of the kids too, guy. I'm just, they don't have no place to go. I don't have no place to go either. What am I, somebody's daddy or something? I'm convicted for being the father of this country.
Talking to Charles Manson is like having a flashback.
Now you see it? How you doing there, Nixon?
He seems frozen in his moment of infamy, still arguing about his guilt, an issue decided long ago by the jury.
Why couldn't we put on a defense? I had 17 witnesses standing outside the door. They just dropped the defense and went on into the penalty phase like everything was already cut and dried before it went to Martini Land.
Newell Emmons, an old jailhouse friend of Manson's, has just brought out a book, Charles Manson in His Own Words, an attempt, says Emmons, to reveal the true Manson.
I've made the book, and first of all, to destroy that myth, that charismatic, to show him as he really is, no god's devil or cult leader, but just a sick, dope-crazed person that got involved in these murders.
No one on the inside finds Charles Manson charismatic, and he's not eager to talk about them either.
In prison, you look out for yourself the best way you know how.
Well, how about an outfit like the Aryan Brotherhood?
What about him?
Well, what about him?
Man, that's way beyond what you want to know anything about.
You don't want to tell me?
Well, hell no, I ain't going to tell you.
How about the black prisoners?
I'm not telling you nothing about that either.
Do they get along in here?
That's none of your business.
Do you get along with both of them?
I get along with everybody.
But one subject does interest Charlie, and always has. Escape.
All right, can we leave now? I'll take you hostage. I ain't nobody, man. I'm a tramp on the road. I'm a hobo. I'm Bing Crosby's reflection.
San Quentin, California's maximum security prison by the bay, a curious architectural mix of Spanish hacienda and French Norman castle. This is where Charles Manson counts out his days.
When Manson first came here, he was condemned to die in the gas chamber for the Tate LaBianca murders in 1969. That sentence was never carried out, of course. California's death penalty law was ruled unconstitutional. Manson has been in various state institutions ever since, Folsom, Vacaville, and now back here at San Quentin.
He is kept isolated from other prisoners who have in the past attacked him.
Then it all circles back to me, and then I'm stuck with it. That's what I got to go through this again for.
Charles Manson has spent most of his life in prison or reform school, beginning at the age of 12. He has the instincts of an institutional person. When the guard came to chain him up after our interview, he locked on one of the handcuffs himself. He frequently tells the story of how he asked not to be released from Terminal Island in 1967. But now, perhaps realizing at last that he may die in custody, he wants out.
Now, if you want to kill me, you dig what I'm saying? Come on with it. If you don't, then get on off my road and let me down out of this penitentiary. I'm tired of playing bull.
All right, you come up for parole again, what, a year and a half?
I don't give a about your parole.
Do you think you get parole?
I don't care about no parole.
You don't?
No, it's a bunch of
Well, why did you just talk about getting out of here?
Getting out is walking out. It doesn't have anything to do with going through some fat maggot who wants to play on me again. I don't want no parole officers. I don't want them telling me what to do. I'm tired of people telling me what to do.
Vincent Pugliosi, the prosecutor who put Manson away, says that cannot happen even here.
Manson is so heinous, so notorious, it would create such a public outcry that even in the state of California, he may very well spend the rest of his life behind bars.
But Manson may believe that by granting interviews like this one, he keeps alive his chances for release. We overheard this exchange with his guard as he was being led away.
I don't have to do this for another, what? Not till they start pestering you in July. Unless you just tell me you don't want to. Well, I'll probably be gone by then.
Helter Skelter, the movie. It portrays the horrors and viciousness of the murders of 7 innocent victims. 8, when you include Sharon Tate's unborn child.
But the truth is, no movie will ever be able to convey the full extent of what went on inside the mansion behind these gates. And today, Charles Manson expresses contempt for the women who so willingly murdered at his bidding.
Susan Atkins, she tried to take the blame for all the murders, hoping to free Charlie.
And then Susan Atkins thought she walked out of the court with my head under her hands. Come on, man. You can't put the universe under your arm.
Linda Kasabian, she went along for the ride and then turned state's evidence.
I don't feel anything one way or another about her.
She was one of your children.
Come on, there. One of my children. She was a broad that came and laid down, man.
Squeaky Fromme, she tried to kill President Ford and became the new head of the family. Manson pays her a twisted compliment.
You think Squeaky's ever going to get out?
Well, she's your daughter. Don't you love her? She's perfect. She's never lied in 20 years. She's held right on the line with it all the way to that 45 automatic, to the Second World War, all the way up to the President Ford telling him, hey, man, I'm letting you have one. Don't make me pull the trigger.
Tex Watson, lead killer at the Tate and LaBianca homes. Manson dismisses him.
Watson says at the time of the LaBianca murders, you put the ropes on the bodies?
No.
No?
No.
Was it the Sharon Tate house? You put the ropes on the bodies?
No, I anticipated that. I anticipated
No, it's
that.
what he said, not what I said.
Yeah, I know. I anticipated that. There's a little trick that most outlaws know, most people that, there's a thing called outlaw handcuffs.
Oh.
And if you remember, I always wore one of these around my neck. You remember?
Probably have pictures of it from the trial.
It's so simple and so clean to tie someone's hands. Now, if you'll take a look at the crime report and look at the way those man's hands are tied, and then ask yourself, was that tied by somebody that knew what they were doing?
But when it serves his purpose, Manson also brags about his family.
Squeaky's English literature, Englewood City College. Sandy's marine biology, somewhere over here in UCL, came from someplace. Every one of those people that you called kids had pretty much college education. Every one of them was smarter scholastically than I am.
At recent parole hearings, the women claim they're sorry for the murders.
I know the pain and the suffering that I caused Mrs. Tate, Mrs. Frykowski, Mr. Frykowski's son, the Hinman family, the LaBianca family. I know. Nobody has to tell me. I know.
But Charlie isn't sorry at all.
What's wrong with murder?
One thing that's remarkable is that Manson has changed so little. Changed his tune, not a bit, in fact. He still glowers and leaps around and makes so many fanciful claims of power. Well, psychiatrists may call him delusional, or one of those fancy words. Most people would say he's a blowhard and let it go at that. But not insane, as Vincent Bugliosi reminds us. Not insane, but a con man and an evil one, as he demonstrated all over again in this series.
Bill, you used a phrase the other day when we were talking about this very point. Somewhere the word genius entered into it. Remember that phrase?
There are people who have used that word. I think
evil,
improperly.
genius, madman, genius.
Evil, certainly. Madman, I don't think. Genius? By what standard? I can't imagine the standard that would justify that word for him.
By some perverted standard, some twisted mechanism by which he can somehow con society into believing that he's mad, while at the same time he's not mad.
But that's the con he's tried that hasn't worked. If he'd won and convinced enough people that he is indeed insane, he wouldn't be in San Quentin in maximum security. He'd be in a hospital somewhere trying to con another group of psychiatrists.
Yeah, that's what he's working toward, isn't it?
I think so, and has for years.
Did you sense that a lot of that stuff was orchestrated for you?
No, I think it's just Manson. It's exactly in the go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bill. We're going to be back with more right after this.